The person in front of me was the woman I saw on the second floor. She helped me to the edge of the bed and gently closed the door. Can you keep me company and talk to me? It's been a long time since I've talked to a normal person. What do you mean? Can't the two old people keep you company and chat with you? I am a little surprised. They are all crazy. The woman gave a bitter laugh. Suddenly saw the camera in my hand. Quickly shielded the chest and squatted on the ground to turn it off. The image on the screen was indeed a bit unsuitable for children. You don't have to worry. I am an outdoor investigating supernatural events streamer who checked in at an XIN hotel late at night for filming. That's why I am interested in your situation. When I moved the camera away, the live stream room is filling up with barrages of comments. Spamming the chat, I want to see pretty girls. And according to what she said, the reason for adoption is not just simple. When the hotel was just built, a feng shui master who is half monk and half Taoist said to the landlord, "This is a place with great misfortune. If you want peace, you must achieve a balance of yin and yang." The old man has one biological son. To achieve a balance of yin and yang, he began to adopt a daughter. There is a very strange aspect here. Regarding the missing 2 to 3-year-old girl, Little Fong never mentions it. That name seems to be taboo within this hotel. The conversation deepened gradually. However, doubts grew increasingly. After my brief communication with her, I always felt it. Little Fong seems to be trying hard to express something to me. But it seems like she is afraid of being heard by others. What is she afraid of? She always hesitates to speak. Is there a third person in this room besides me? Strange talisman paper, strange room. My mind is getting more and more confused. It's getting close to dawn now. It's not early. I gently patted Little Feng's shoulder and said, "It's late. You should go back first. Otherwise, your foster parents will misunderstand." I took out my phone. "What's your WeChat ID? I'm really sorry for tearing your skirt. Let me send you a red envelope as an apology." Little Feng sat up and said with a head down, "I don't have a phone. My foster parents don't allow me to contact people from the outside world." This girl is like a captive animal, seems to have many hidden secrets in her heart. Can I stay here tonight? If I can stay, my foster parents will be very happy. I feel a bit strange. Wasn't it said that the foster parents didn't allow her to interact with the outside world? Why do they want her to stay now? After thinking for a while, I finally agreed to let her stay. Having someone else here with me will make me less scared. I cleared out half of the bed for the girl. As time goes by, because the ghost that everyone anticipated never appeared, the rate of increase in popularity has slowed down significantly. A wave of sleepiness hit until after 2 in the morning. There was no movement in the live broadcast room either. I covered Little Feng with a thin blanket and lay down on the other side. My eyelids slowly became heavy. Good-looking guys are loved by girls, it is said. Streamer wants to have the beautiful girl all to himself after we all go to sleep. How is that possible? I must expose his true colors. Timo stews mushrooms. We'll have the ideology and morality exam tomorrow. I am going to sleep. Good night, everyone. It seems that there is no Officer Huang from Class 2, Grade 3. What ghost is haunting me? It seems like I am overthinking. Das Lu of Qingqing Mountain is overthinking. Water injures the body, severing the balance of yin and yang. Smoke enters the face, obscuring the spirit platform. This has given rise to the yin souls, fundamentally affecting the deceased. I never saw the barrage of Taoist Lu. A irresistible drowsiness dragged me into the dream. The blurry scenes in the dream seemed familiar. It's like being in a deserted village hotel. I was imprisoned by a female ghost with an indistinct face. I had this dream in the morning. Same building. Same decoration. The small light bulbs woven outside the window formed the words, an XIN hotel, emitting a faint red light. My consciousness is sometimes clear and sometimes blurry. I only know that I am frantically fleeing, but not sure what I am being chased by. I want to look back, but I can't control my body. I want to scream, but no sound comes out. I struggle to wake up from the dream, biting my tongue hard, veins popping on my face. But even so, all I can do is twist my head. The narrow view is slowly occupied by blood. Red blood seeps from every corner of the hotel. In the corner of my eye, I catch a glimpse of a woman's figure. Suddenly, it feels like my chest is being roasted by fire. I suddenly woke up from the dream. My clothes were already soaked with sweat. I lowered my head and looked at my chest. The part that was giving off heat was just placed during the daytime. I gasped for breath heavily as I got that talisman paper from my friend. I thought to myself that this thing must be extraordinary. I saw a girl facing me, motionless. Luckily, I wasn't discovered. This girl is really sleeping like a log. I wiped the sweat off my forehead. I turned to the other side with my arm as a pillow. In front of me, a girl covered with a thin blanket is breathing steadily. Sleeping soundly? Wait. If the girl covered with a thin blanket in front of me is Little Fong whom I just saw, then who is the woman currently sleeping behind me? My heart rate instantly accelerated, my hands and feet broke out in a cold sweat. My body froze as if not daring to move at all. I widened my eyes and glanced sideways at the cold sweat dripping down the back of my head. All cries for help were stuck in the throat. Is the thing behind me a person or a ghost? The scene in the dream is almost replaying. Is this what they call sleep paralysis? At that moment, I felt like there was something slowly sliding towards my neck from behind. A strange force tightened around my neck. My head was twisted, gradually turning towards my back. Bloodshot eyes bulged out on my neck. The force pulling me grew stronger and stronger. At this critical moment, I thought of that talisman paper. I bit my tongue hard, the pain sending waves of sensation through my body. My fingers swiftly retrieved the talisman paper placed over my heart. A warm current instantly flowed into my body. I suddenly sprang up from the bed. The fist violently smashed backwards. In the twinkling of an eye, I only saw half of a blurry face reflected in my eyes. When the talisman paper fell behind me, there was nothing left. I stood by the bed in a panic. The pain in my neck reminded me of what had just happened. All that had occurred was indeed real. I picked up the camera and phone. If the equipment from the underworld show can capture ghosts, then everything that just happened should have been recorded. This means that what just occurred was also in the live stream room. The audience should have seen real ghosts. Is anyone there? Can anyone talk about what happened after I fell asleep? It's very quiet in the live stream room. It's almost 3 a.m. now, I guess most people are resting. After a while, a lonely bullet screen appeared in the live stream room. The person who sent it is Daoist Lu of Qingqing Mountain, Heavenly Thunder Talismans. Kid, what good deeds did you do in your past life? Got this Thunder Talisman template. If not for the help of a person of high status, that means it is destined by heaven that your life should not end. I am very nervous at the moment. Could you say something I can understand? I hold the talisman paper tightly, standing by the bed. I feel unsafe no matter which direction I look at now. You are a commoner. Mind is filled with distracting thoughts. Those who move into a haunted house at midnight will surely encounter misfortune. But the will of heaven lacks one thing. There is still a glimmer of hope. This vitality should be on that talisman template. I looked at the talisman in my hand. After using it several times, I found that its charm greatly diminished. The radiance was restrained, becoming extremely dim. Before I joined Qingqing as a Taoist master, spent several years searching for the ancient peach struck by lightning for 500 years. Spent half a lifetime to create a talisman coffin with all the knowledge acquired. The goal is to cultivate a thunder talisman. Unfortunately, after entering Qingqing, this talisman coffin will be left to the descendants. Used to suppress the family's luck. If the museum were to open now, can also compete with you and your talisman template. I was speechless for a while. Taoist, can you take care of my life after showing off? Why did I just see my shadow moving? Don't panic. It's darkest under the lamp. The ghost in the shadow. The one moving is not your shadow. Yin and yang under the same roof. You have the protection of the thunder talisman. It harbors resentment. Naturally, it will not rest until it gets its way. We'll definitely go after that girl. I am completely in a state of confusion now and totally cannot understand. I don't know what to do. Rotten wood cannot be carved. That's it. Saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. Taoist master, I will make an exception and teach you a hand thunder's talisman incantation. I will make an exception and teach you a hand thunder's talisman incantation. You listen carefully. If you wish to get through tonight safely, you must keep your mind focused on positive thoughts. But do not let selfish thoughts arise. Greedy for life and afraid of death. Confused by evil spirits and little demons. Possessed by evil spirits. Kid. Quickly do as I have said. Abandon distracting thoughts. Visualize the purple star deity statue in the center. Inhale through the nose. Swallow the central palace. Cultivating chi and harmonizing with the primordial. Release the chi of the weather. You are my father. Can you speak in a way that humans can understand? Is purple star the same purple star from My Fair Princess? How to set up visualize. At this time, little Feng on the bed began to shake uncontrollably. His eyelids twitched rapidly. He slowly sat up. Damn. Are you freaking telling me that there's something even more terrifying coming our way? Little Feng on the bed is like a puppet being controlled. Suddenly, she stands up out of nowhere. Her eyes wide open, eyeballs rolling up. Young man, you should not say more. Thunder talisman imprint. Do as I say quickly. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger together. Bend toward the palm. Do not touch the palm. Press the nails of the forefingers with the inside of the thumb. Press firmly for me. Don't let the nails show. Taoist Lu's barrage comments are flying quickly. It's obvious that the situation is urgent. Little Feng, who was possessed, has stopped shaking. She stands on the bed, glaring coldly at me like a dead body hanging. Discard distracting thoughts. Recite the incantation with me. I didn't have time to read the following barrage from Taoist Lu, because possessed little Feng had already rushed over. She was still holding a pair of scissors. I dodged the sharp scissors and grabbed her arm, prepared to control her with a grappling technique. But I didn't expect that little Feng at this time was extremely strong. The two of us were deadlocked. She suddenly reached out. The target was the thunder talisman that I had placed in the palm of my hand. I pushed little Feng away with force and jumped onto the bed, running towards the door. However, before I could take a step, I was tackled to the ground. Quickly chant the spell with me. In the live streaming room, Taoist Lu has already recited the incantation. That's a long string. I risked my life to block the scissors aimed at my chest. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I loudly recited the incantation. The command of thunder is swift as a shooting star. The mighty deities from all directions grant me nature. With the order of the spiritual treasure talisman, I proclaim to the 9 heavens, Qian Luo de Na, and Dong Gang de Xian, cutting down demons and binding evil, slaying thousands of ghosts, dispelling malevolence. May the Tao's essence endure. Right now. Heavenly Thunder Talisman. Wave your hand and throw out the talisman paper. It's amazing to think that such a thin piece of paper could shine like a golden sword with electric light. Stab straight into Little Feng's chest. Thunder Talisman guards bind the fierce ghosts. Little Feng, who was just showing its teeth and claws, now softly fell to the ground. Her shadow suddenly split open and swept past. The wall instantly moved into the bathroom. I sat directly on the ground with my legs feeling weak as soon as the crisis passed. I had no strength to even stand up at this moment. Kid. Now is not the time to rest. Take advantage of its weakness. Hurry up and go after it. This is not quite appropriate. A great man once said, do not pursue an enemy who is retreating. Don't blame me for not warning you. This time you were lucky to have wounded it with the Thunder Talisman. But also by doing so, you have formed a karmic relationship with it. You might be plagued by that filthy thing in the future. Entangled. It won't rest until it succeeds. Are all fierce ghosts as straightforward as Pinktage? I struggled to stand up. I pushed open the door of the bathroom with the live broadcasting equipment in hand. The bathroom was indeed intentionally renovated. The landlord must be deliberately hiding something. I will organize the clues in my mind. The taxi driver who brought me here also mentioned that someone went missing in this area a few years ago. I'm not entirely sure about the specific reasons, but all evidence points to this dilapidated hotel. At this moment, I thought about the unfamiliar woman who called me at the beginning of the mission. She said she was hidden inside the wall, under the floor, and behind the bathtub. Thinking about this, I feel a chill down my spine. Could that call be from a vengeful ghost? Looking at the bathtub inside the bathroom, I took a deep breath, mustering up courage. I pried open each tile along the grout lines. The bathtub was pitch black inside. It was supported by bricks at the four corners, but the middle was empty. I used all my strength to lift the bottom of the tub and move it outward. What appeared was not the corpse I had guessed. It was a black hole of unknown depth. I shone the light from my phone, but it was pitch black and bottomless. There was a torn piece of cloth hanging on the wall of the hole. It was obviously a hole deliberately concealed by someone. Who is the person who dug out this hole? And for what purpose did they do this? The buried truth may lie within the hole. I decided to investigate. Because the camera was too bulky, I had to drop it down. It's not a prank or a prearranged show for you viewers. If I don't come back in an hour, please make sure to call the police for me. At this time, the ID in the bullet comments is, "Good-looking guys are loved by girls. No matter if you are acting or not. You are live broadcasting with someone in the middle of the night. Sleeping women is definitely wrong. Wait to enter the police station. I reported to the police half an hour ago. Don't make noise upstairs. This house is really haunted. We all saw it just now. Although we didn't see its full face. But it can be confirmed that it's a female ghost. Good-looking guys are loved by girls. Either they are lead actors or extras. They are all just some leftover tricks. Waiting for the streamer to join the game. I saw someone said they had already called the police. I feel helpless. Fortunately, at least we have helped a little. Take the good stuff. Support the hole with both hands and slowly slide into the hole. It took me more than 10 seconds to climb out of the cave. I estimate that I should be on the first floor now. The space at the bottom of the cave is small, but I can hear the sound of the wind. So I'm not worried about suffocating. I slowly groped forward because there were no barrages from Taoist Lu. I didn't dare to act rashly. It's pitch black around me with a visibility of only a few tens of centimeters. I'm really afraid that a face or something similar will suddenly appear in front of me. Not long after walking, I turned my head and saw a double-faced Buddha statue carved on the wall. One with a compassionate expression, one with a fierce and malevolent look. I took a picture with my phone and continued to explore ahead. I walked for about 10 meters before finally seeing some light. I turned off my phone's flashlight and quietly approached from the darkness. The old man? There was quite a commotion in room 203. That young man is probably in grave danger. Deserved it. He brought it upon himself for getting involved with that shady person. The conversation was intermittent. I had to get closer to see Jimmy. An old couple was standing inside the house, working on the cement wall. They were completely sealing off the area connecting to the first floor. Sealed off the road. Let's not do this again in the future. My dear, I still want to catch a glimpse of our son. I, who hide in the darkness, clearly dare not come out. It's obviously this elderly couple who dug out the tunnel. It should be related to the missing cases in recent years. I waited for them to leave before standing up. I turned on the flashlight on my phone and walked towards the other side of the fork in the road. The ground was muddy and damp. At the end of the road was a shallow well covered with wooden boards. I lifted the heavy wooden board. A foul smell rushed into my nostrils. I saw a lot of black things in the wooden board. A large, blurry object. I turned up the brightness of my phone to the maximum. Only then did I see what this blackish thing was. It turned out that it was all tangled hair. And bones that were highly corroded and left behind. My face turned pale with fright. Based on the skull vaguely peeking out from the pile of hair, we can infer that the number of deceased individuals is no less than 4. I felt my scalp numb instantly. I struggled to suppress the urge to vomit. I immediately covered the wooden board and quickly retraced my steps to call the police. This is a serious case. But before I could climb halfway, the sound of the door opening came from the hole above my head. I raised my head in confusion and took a look. But just then, my eyes met the face at the opening. A terrifying scar was embedded on the face. It was the old landlord. I immediately let go and jumped back into the cave. I turned around and ran towards the tunnel leading to the intersection. The passage on the first floor had not been completely sealed off. I ran out from there. I sprinted at top speed. With one kick, I knocked off the wooden board blocking the gap. I arrived in the room connected to the tunnel. The room is full of miscellaneous items. There are also 2 sealed iron barrels in the corner. No time to look closely. I ran straight to the door of the room. I grabbed the doorknob and pulled open the door. But who would have thought that in front of me was the only passage? Standing there was the short and stout old lady. I thought to myself, how come I smelled a bad odor just now? It turns out that you lifted the manhole cover. She was hiding a cleaver behind her back. The tip of the knife had already peeked out. I am waiting here for my son. So, I have to ask you to shut up. I reacted quickly and immediately screamed. Holy cow, close the door. Outside the door, the old lady was chopping at the door lock as if she had gone mad. And at this moment, footsteps of another old person could be heard in the tunnel. Surrounded on all sides. I, already exhausted, completely lost my bearings. I was filled with despair at this moment. When Scarface walked out of the tunnel, I had completely given up any resistance in my heart. At this moment, outside the Annexian Hotel just a wall away, suddenly the sound of sirens blared. The people inside heard it clearly. We have received a specific tip-off. There are people here engaging in illegal transactions. I have never found the sound of sirens so wonderful before. I heard the noise. I crazily shouted for help. The police outside heard the call for help from inside the house and immediately rushed in. With the cooperation of 2 police officers, the elderly man and the short, stout woman were subdued. I then reported the situation here to the police, as it involves multiple lives. The district police station was mobilized overnight. Annexian Hotel was completely isolated and the police were on site collecting evidence. Forensic experts and criminal investigation personnel were coming in and out of the tunnel. They were busy until dawn before removing the cordon. They escorted the 2 elderly people into a police car. There is an extra message in the mobile phone mailbox of the Underworld show, with information about completing a task and receiving a reward. 1 point is awarded upon completing the task. The goods are abundant with a wide variety, but I immediately spotted the one I was interested in. It's General Principles of Tianmu Practice. Don't ask me for the reason. I will never tell you it's because of the word perspective. If this thing is as effective as the Thunder Talisman, then wouldn't I be able to, hee hee.